Hi ladies. Um, yes, I know I have not made a video yet, and I'm about halfway there. Um, I am 19 weeks and a few odd days. Um, I guess 19 weeks and 6 days. And I don't have a lot going on. Um, Baby is moving all the time now. I'm feeling baby pretty much anytime I've been still after any time I get still after I've been moving around and stuff, I am feeling baby. Um, but all the time. Um, we found out in July that we were pregnant. I had just taken a pregnancy test. I have no clue why. I really don't know why I took the pregnancy test. I just did. And of course, it came up positive. And at that time, we were about 5, 6 weeks along when we found out. Um, and Morning sickness for about the first week or two after I found out was fairly mild. Was not un unmanageable. And then the next couple of weeks after that, from about the time that I was about 8 or 9 weeks until like my 13th week, it started getting worse. Now I had only physically thrown up, gotten sick physically, maybe 2 or 3 times. It was more of just an uncontrollable urge that I felt if I got up, moved, did too much, that it probably would have caused me to throw up. So I spent a lot of time in the early part sleeping in, kind of. Um, I would wake up and I would lay in bed for a couple of hours, and about the only thing I got up to do was to go potty. Um, but yeah, that's about how the first trimester went. Uh, During the time that it was the worst was the couple of weeks that we're working on moving in here as well, and so I mean that just added to the frustration of moving. But I made it through. Obviously, we're moved in, and I'm in second trimester. Uh, we have had several ultrasounds. That's what is all over the refrigerator right there. There's 3 months worth there. I've actually had 4 ultrasound sessions because every time I go into the doctor, I get an ultrasound. My doctor has his own ultrasound machine, so they do an ultrasound. Um, my most recent one was last Wednesday maybe. It might have been last Wednesday. Um, it's getting kind of late. It's 2 minutes to 12. Um, Midnight. Uh, but my last one, which is the one that's the 6 pictures, it's the long one, uh, was at 18 weeks and about 3 or 4 days, I think. Um, and uh, they scheduled another appointment uh, for November 6th, which will be my official ultrasound. These are just general ultrasounds that the doctor's office does because they think it's nice for the mommies to be able to see the babies. So they give us ultrasounds every time. But my ultrasound coming up on the 6th will be full measurement ultrasounds and everything. They do a lot more in-depth measurement of the baby to make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be. excuse me, and just everything else. I'm assuming there'll probably be AFI, just, I mean, everything. It's just the full regular detailed ultrasound. And then a few more weeks after that, our doctor's office also has their own 4D ultrasound machine. So they do 4D ultrasounds around 28 or 29 weeks generally. So I'll be getting that at that time, which will be in January for that to happen. It should be like the end of the first or beginning of the second week in January when we'll have our 4D. Outside of all that, I just don't know what else is going on. Nails have grown a lot. Hair from the last time that I've done a video, hair has really gotten long. I was looking back on some of my older videos the other day, and my hair was like here when I started making videos a couple of years ago, and this from about here to the end has been pregnancy growth. It's been a good 3 or 4 inches just during the pregnancy. Yeah, there's not been a lot of anything else going on. I think it's mostly what's prevented me from making a video is just, it's not like I've had a lot of news of anything to put in the video. I'll let you see my belly, which is not a lot to it, but it's enough. That's belly. And my pants are right in the middle of my stomach, so they're making belly cleavage. But I definitely got a bump there now. I have been having some breakout issues that I would attribute to the pregnancy. Blood pressure has been a problem. They've put me on blood pressure medicine because it's just been, pretty high. And before I got put on the medicine, my blood pressure would get high enough that it was causing like severe headaches. So I was on blood pressure medicine, and what else did they had me on Zantac because I was having heartburn. Started around 14 weeks, probably 14 or 15 weeks, I think. I think it was my 14-week checkup, 14 weeks, 3 days. The checkup that I had at that time was when he actually prescribed the Zantac. So I guess it might have been like the week before that, in the 13th week. About the time that my nausea started dying down was when the heartburn started. I never had heartburn with my kids before my 2 oldest. And I don't have heartburn any other time. I'll get a little bit of acid reflux sometimes depending on what I eat. But like, yeah, heartburn is not awesome. Having an elephant sit on my chest is how it feels to me. It's either that feeling or like somebody's taken the pointy part of their knuckles and like rubbing it on my sternum is how mine feels. And it's such pressure that it takes my breath away just thinking about it. I'm like half fluttery over it. I just don't like it. So they've got me on the Zantac. I take that twice a day, as well as my blood pressure medicine I take twice a day. Everything else, there's just not a whole lot going on. I'm staying at home right now. I had been working at Walmart as an overnight stalker, and ended up leaving that job shortly after we found out we were pregnant, because they just did not want to work with me at all, being pregnant. Uh, they weren't willing to make any exceptions to moving me to a different position that potentially would have been lighter load or anything like that. Um, and I wasn't comfortable continuing doing what I was doing um, because of the fact that uh, it was so heavy sometimes. And there were, I mean, I was there for about 2 weeks after I found out. And out of that 2 weeks, there was maybe 2 or 3 days that I didn't have cramping um, that was brought on by the stress of the job. So I am just being a domestic engineer right now, um, cleaning house here at home and doing dishes and laundry and taking care of my husband. He got caught the other day trying to complain about something, and I jumped his shit for it and said that he had no reason to be complaining about anything because since we have been moved in here, he has not had to wash a single dish or a single load of laundry himself or, really pick up behind himself at all, hardly. Um, and he was like, I've washed laundry. And I was like, your little single loads of hunting clothes do not count. Um, he's got hunting clothes that he has to wash in his downwind laundry detergents and no scent detergent and use no scent softener and stuff. And I told him that if they were going to be special, he could do that because we already use all free and clear because I have allergies to dyes and perfumes in my detergent anyway. So I think it's almost pointless for him to use the other because our clothes come out smelling clean. They don't come out smelling, you know, fragrancy soapy or anything. Um, but he sucked it up and admitted that he did have it pretty good now. Before uh, he mostly washed his laundry almost since we've been together. Because when he was still in the Marine Corps, of course, his clothes would, he'd bring his cami uniforms home and they'd be covered in mud and whatever else. So that stuff didn't get washed with my clothes. And then after that, he was in school for diesel mechanic, and so his clothes were always covered in diesel oils and nastiness and whatever. So of course my clothes didn't get washed with that. And then after he got out of school, when we first moved down here, he had a mechanic's job, and my clothes would not get washed with that. Now he works as a corrections officer, and I had been still letting him wash his own laundry, mainly because I hated our laundry room at our old place. Here, the laundry room is right off the kitchen. It's really not a room, it's like a little cubby that the washing machine and dryer shove back into. And it's just easier for me to do, a load as soon as it, gets, as soon as it fills up in the laundry basket and stuff. So sometimes I do, 2 or 3 loads a week, and some weeks we don't do that much. Um, but I'm just kind of getting myself a heads up on doing more loads of laundry since we are planning to cloth diaper. So I know that's gonna really create more laundry for us. Um, as far as baby goes, once the baby gets here, we have names picked out. We are not sharing them, however. We have one boy name and one girl name that we have like definitively decided on. At least I thought we had, and then they had come up the other day, and my husband denies agreeing on them. Um, but they're there, and that's probably what they're going to be. Definitely with the girl's name. I'm dead set on the girl's name that that's what it's going to be. Um, we're going to cloth diaper. I will breastfeed, of course. I've breastfed both my other children. My son not as long as my daughter because I was very sick after I had him, and was ended up getting put on medication that I had to quit breastfeeding him. they wanted me to pump and dump until I got off the medication, but it took me 3 days to dry up. After I quit physically feeding him, pumping and dumping just didn't, I wasn't producing any milk to dump. Um, so I will be breastfeeding. I am planning on getting a co-sleeper. I co-slept with my daughter and with my son, but my husband is a horrible stirrer in bed. Um, he's got good days and bad days, and I would associate it to probably rooting back to his PTSD. Um, but it's just, and he's also a very, very hot sleeper. So it's just not in the best interest to try and co-sleep. So I will be getting a co-sleeper. It's kind of like a pack and play, one that I picked out that makes the baby sleep level to my side of the bed. And that's how I'm planning on co-sleeping with the baby. I am hoping for girl. I got several things that make me think that it's a girl, and I'm very hopeful that it's a girl. I had even gone online and found a long list of several wives' tale things, of which I think there was like 40 some of them, and like all but like 3 I think came up as girl. 3 of them were boy, and then there was actually 2 that were like undetermined because they were things that I either hadn't done or something like that. So girl far outweighed everything on that list as far as, going by the wives' tales. Um, yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm really sorry that it took me so long to make this. Um, I just, I don't know. I don't know why I was dawdling and wasting time about it. But it is getting posted now, and it is finally up. I can't promise that I'll be back in a week making another update. It might be a couple of weeks. It might be just before I go into labor. Um, if you've got any questions for me, I guess post them in the comments, and maybe I'll make the next video on that. I know there's probably a lot of things I've left out. I've been so scatterbrained since I found out I was pregnant. There's just so much going on. Um, yeah, just let me know. Um, and I guess if there's questions, ask them, and I'll make another video answering the questions the best I can. Um, I'm pretty much an open book. There's not, you know, whatever. There's things I'm sure that I plan on doing that some moms will judge me for. Tough poop. It's my kid, and if there's something I decide to do with my pregnancy and labor that you don't like, you don't have to watch my videos. But I mean, every woman's different, and we all have our own choices for what we're gonna do with whatever. So I guess I'm going to sign off right now, and I will hopefully be back with a video again before too much longer, and try and keep you ladies updated. So yeah, have a good night, I guess, and I will see you later. Bye.